Tippy time my damies, Top Cat here and welcome back to the channel. If you've been following this season, you might have noticed that I love my ability spam. I love chucking endless knives, kneeing people in the face, chucking baby hammers, whatever it may be. But I also like shooting things with guns. We're currently inside the entrance of Goss, and you may have noticed we are not reloading. We're just fucking chucking down bullets, taking names, and they are all dead. That's 38 ads cleared with ease. To do this, we will be using the exotic chest piece with a Titan, the Actium war rig. It's an armor perk, auto loading link, steadily reloads a portion of your equipped auto rifles or LNGs from your reserves. Provides a moderate benefit to airborne effectiveness stats for auto rifles. This reloads about 10% of your mag every 3 or so seconds, so it just allows you to keep shooting, keep refunding. You'll have to lean off the trigger a little bit when you kind of get halfway or when there's not as many ads. Just give it a little rest. But apart from that, you can just keep the trigger down and not have to worry about those pesky reloads, so you can continually be pesky yourself. Now normally when we see this exotic, we think of the Sweet Business solar chain gun. This is a popular choice, but for me, I've been wanting to embellish this new exotic that we haven't really used in a while, and this build is aptly named Tommy Time, as we're using Tommy's Matchbook. Essentially, this thing is a perk ignition trigger. Sustained fire is going to create more damage output, but it hurts you instead. So what we are aiming to do with this is to out heal it through restoration. This will allow us to chuck down the mean DPS that this gun can do whilst healing ourselves and not really having to worry about the burn that it applies. This makes it an extremely potent primary weapon that we can use just to melt things down. To make this work, we're going to be using the Roaring Flames Solar Aspect, Sol Invictus for those beautiful sunspots, and our baby throwing hammer that gives us cure. We're going to be pairing this with our Astral Horizon or any shotgun with a 1-2 punch. This is pretty much just going to help the combination, and it's good major buster essentially, but it's also going to give us that radiance that we use in conjunction with our healing grenade. And this is really the crux of this build, is that we want to be both radiant and have restoration procced up. Then we can just lay into things with our auto rifle, and we'll have damage buff from the Tommy, from radiant, constant restoration, and every kill that we get is just going to be feeding that loop. So whenever we start an attack, we always chuck down a healing grenade, chuck something with a bonk, so shotgun bonk or just bonk, and then just run into things with our Tommy. I am using the Burning Maul for this build. Bungie recently gave the Burning Maul a 25% damage buff, so now it's on par with the other chucking the hammers. So Hammer Assault, I believe it's called. With this, you can use it both ways. You can use a spin to win. I like to chuck one down and then go spin to win. If the target is stationary, spin to win is really good. If he's roaming, do the ground slam. It seems to work better. We're going to be using Ember Torches. Powered melees make us radiant. Ember Empyrean, solar weapon and ability final blows, extended duration. And Ember Solace, Radiant and Restoration have longer effects. We will be using Ember Blistering just so our sunspots give us additional Scorch ignitions that will give us additional grenade energy. We're going to be using our Rally Barricade, in conjunction with our Bomber mod. This will just help push our grenade over the limit, so that way we can always lead off with a grenade, get that restoration, start getting our kills. Then we can chuck down a hammer to get our radiant, and then we can just lean into things and just burn the world down. Now, because we're using the Tommies, we are going to have to forego using the Lament. Now, you don't always have to have the highest DPS if it means, in this case, like with this build, that we are just mowing down ads without a care in the world and making everything a lot safer doing so. So we can use something else, like in this case, I'm using the Falling Guillotine. This is still a very strong heavy weapon and best in class in terms of a legendary power weapon. There isn't many rivals that can counter this. So You don't have to use Lament. Try using the Guillotine. Most of you guys should have this. It's combination of the spin to win followed by 5 light attacks, then spin to win. Just works a treat and is still really strong combination in terms of a heavy weapon. And this will free us up for some Tommy time. As I said before, grenade, melee, and now we've got all our buffs, so we can just go around melting shit. I really do recommend this Tommy. It finally feels nice, you know, destructive, and you don't have to suffer through that painful burn that you would otherwise have. We want to try and make sure that we always have our grenades in our melee. Melee is not an issue, but on our armor mods we'll be using Seeking Wells, Sword Ammo Finder, and Hands On, as we're chucking baby hammers as well. Get us that super energy. Elemental Time Dilation, Grenade Kickstart, Fontamite, and Armor of the Dying Star. Another Fontamite, a Sword Scavenger, and I'm using Shotgun Holster as I'm not primarily having to worry about reloading this. This is just to get that 1-2 bonk. Well of Life. Flame Harvesting is the crux of this. Solar Exotic Final Blows give us solar wells. You get 1 well every 2 kills. You're mowing down kills, so it's not an issue. We're running Bomber. And because we're just constantly mowing things down with this Tommy, we're getting the heals, we're getting the constant Fontamite, so we have so many damage buffs now, it's not even funny. It really is a lot of fun and highly recommend this build, guys. Tommy's just so much fun, and you really do feel quite gangster, like you're leaning off the side of the car, just laying down suppressive fire, helping your team out. Anyway, my damies, that is the build for today. If you did enjoy and liked, please tap that like. If you really liked and you're new, tap that sub. Comment down below if you've got any questions or just further comments. But yeah, until next time, tippy time, my damies. What a tie. Bottom of everything, he's the most tip top cat.